Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Dr. Nur Hayati. For this presentation, I will start first by giving title for our group's assignment report. We conducted this survey by referring to the article named Computer Self-Efficacy and E-Resources used by undergraduate students of Federal University of Kashmir, Nigeria. Thus, the title is proposed by our group is The Influence of Computer Self-Efficacy and E-Resources used by undergraduate students of UiTM Puncak Perdana.
Next slide is my group member. On the left side, it's me, Farisha Nurin binti Fahrul Nizam, following by Maisara binti Misbahul Munir, Intan Nurharzwani binti Johari, and Nur Farah Anissa binti Ahmad Rifai.
I will continue this presentation by giving an abstract for this report. The study explores the relationship between computer self-efficacy and the use of electronic information resources by undergraduate students of UiTM Puncak Perdana. There are 3 study questions on the questionnaire: the purpose of use of e-resources, the frequency of use of e-resources, and the level of computer self-efficacy of the respondents. A 4-point Likert scale with 1 denoting strongly agree and 4 denoting strongly disagree was used to score the first research question. On a 5-point frequency scale, responses to the second research question were categorized as daily, twice a week, once a week, occasionally, and never. The third research question, there were several options for respondents to select from, including very high level, low level, and very low level. The study also discovered that each sample student's utilization of electronic information resources is frequently directly correlated with their level of computer self-efficacy as undergraduate students. The study also suggests ways to increase students' computer self-efficacy to maximize their use of the electronic information resources available at the institutions such as the library. As you can see the slide, I will explain more about the methodology of the survey that we have conducted. First is the population. In UiTM Puncak Perdana, there is population which consists of 2 faculty. First is Faculty of Information Management and the second one is Faculty of Film, Theatre and Animation. But our group only picked Faculty of Information Management to gather the data that we need in the questionnaire. Second is sampling. Our survey has a few proportionate random sampling that thought to be the best approach. There are also 4 steps that taken in the survey which also based on our objectives as proposed. First is to discover why UiTM Puncak Perdana undergraduate students use electronic resources. Second step is to identify how frequently undergraduate students at UiTM Puncak Perdana use electronic resources. Third step is to determine the level of computer self-efficacy among undergraduate students at UiTM Puncak Perdana. Last step is to determine the relationship between how undergraduate students at UiTM Puncak Perdana use e-resources and computer self-efficacy. Next is research instrument. As I mentioned before in abstract, our survey is a self-structured questionnaire that was utilized as the studies instrument and it was distributed to undergraduate students at UiTM Puncak Perdana in the Faculty of Information Management to determine the instrument's reliability and implement the suggested corrections. Furthermore, the researcher already provided the survey instrument and our group just used the question to add to our respondents' responses. Before distributing the questionnaires to the respondents, our group also got the approval of the lecturers. Lastly is data collection. The data that we gather were analyzed by using descriptive statistics including frequency distribution, percentage, means and standard deviation. Other than that, to analyze the data, we only use the statistical package for social science which is SPSS that we have been taught by our lecturer in the class session and for the tutorial. That's all from me. I will pass this presentation to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Intan Nurharzwani binti Johari and for today I'm going to explain about the descriptive statistics. First, from the result table, it shown that the mean of the result is ranged between 4.67 and 1.01. It shown that the total of the respondents are 152 respondents. From the survey result, CD-ROM holds the highest mean with 4.67 with a standard deviation of 0.629, then followed up by the OPEC users of resources with mean value is 3.47 with standard deviation of 0.911. Next is e-journal and e-books to the third and fourth place with the mean value 3.07 and 2.76 with the standard deviation 0.951 and 9.164. Follow up with the online database usage of resources with mean value 2.49 with standard deviation 1.077, and lastly with the lowest mean value which is 1.01 and the standard deviation is 0.81 is the internet usage towards the e-resources. And now for the age frequency. The respondents are divided into 6 categories where the range of age are between 90 years old to 27 years old and above. The highest percentage for the frequency of age with 53.6% with is the range between the 21 to 22 years old, while the lowest frequency of respondent with the percentage 0.7% came from the range age between 90 to 20 years old. Next is the gender frequency. Most of the gender respondent is from the female with the frequency 99 and 64.7% from the total respondent. The rest of the percentage goes to the male gender with the percentage 35.3% and the total frequency is 54. The female frequency and percentage are higher than the male frequency and percentage. For the faculty frequency, it's shown that all of the respondents are from the same faculty, which is the Faculty of Information Management. 152 respondents are from the same faculty with the percentage 100%. Next is the course frequency. The 150 respondents are divided into 4 categories, which is IM244, IM245, IM246, and IM249. 32 of the respondents belong to IM244 with 20.9%, while 62 of the respondents are from IM245 with a percentage 40.5%. Next is 34 number of the respondents from IM246 with 22.2%, and the rest of the respondents belong to IM249 courses with 25 frequency as 16.3%. The highest are from IM245 which is 62 respondents with 40.5%, while the lowest are from IM249 with 60.3%. Next is impression statistic. Firstly, the reliability test. In the reliability test result from the 3 variables, it shown that the purpose of electronic resources utilization and the level of computer self-efficiency of respondents have the global alpha value 0.921 and 0.942. From this result, it shown that the global alpha value is above than 0.7, which means it is acceptable and changes does not need to be applied. But, different for the frequency use of e-resources, where the global alpha is 0.491. All items are consistent except the internet because the global alpha if item deleted for it is 0.513 and it is higher than the global alpha which is 0.491. Therefore, changes need to be made on the item to make the item consistent like the others. Next is significant difference. In the significant difference, the relationship of each variable has the same value. For the purpose of electronic resources utilization variable, the t-test value is 38.303 and the significant total value is 0.000. As for the frequency use of e-resources variable, the t-test value is 75.533 and the significant total value is also 0.000. Lastly, for the level of computer self-efficiency of the respondent variable, the t-test value is 44.800 and the significant total is also 0.00. This concludes that each variable has a relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable, which is the undergraduate students in UiTM Puncak Perdana. Next, for the correlation. Based on the table, we can see that each variable has their own relationship with the dependent variable, which is the undergraduate student in UiTM Puncak Perdana. The correlation is significant at the value 0.01. First, the purpose of electronic resources utilization, its significant tail is 0.669 between the frequency of e-resources, which means it has no relationship between them. But the relationship between the level of computer self-efficiency of the respondent and the purpose of electronic resources utilization, its significant tail is 0.000. It means that the variable has the relationship between the mean P and mean L. Next, the significant two-tail between the frequency use of e-resources and the purpose of electronic resources utilization is 0.669 and 0.454 between the level of computer self-efficiency of the respondent. It means that it still has no relationship between all the independent variables. The significant two-tail of level of computer self-efficiency from the respondent is 0.000, which means that it has strong relationship with the purpose of electronic resources utilization. But for the frequency of use of e-resources, the significant two-tail of level self-computer efficiency of the respondent is 0.454. It means that it has no relationship between the frequency of used e-resources and the level of computer self-efficiency of respondents. All the hypothesis tested is rejected because all the hypothesis stated of each variable has no relationship between the dependent variable, which is the undergraduate student in UiTM Puncak Perdana. So, the hypotheses are rejected because all the variable has no relationship with the dependent variable.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nofara Anissa binti Ahmad Rifai. On this slide, I'll be presenting about the discussion of the findings. The primary purpose of the study was to find out more about how undergraduate students at UiTM Puncak Perdana use e-resources and how well they know how to use computers on their own. Computer self-efficacy and e-resources used among university students were examined in the study via the purpose of electronic resources utilization, frequency of use of e-resources, and respondents' computer self-efficacy levels. Computer self-efficacy was found to have a substantial impact on the frequency of use of e-resources. For the survey to be done, both first-hand and second-hand information was gathered. A Google Form-style online survey was used to collect primary data during field study. The internet was used to obtain additional information. Undergraduate students at UiTM Puncak Perdana's Faculty of Information Management are being studied for their computer self-efficacy and e-resources use. The data collected for this study was coded and evaluated using descriptive and inferential statistics, such as frequency distribution and percentage, along with means and standard deviation. As part of the SPSS statistical package, inferential statistics was used to test hypotheses.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Sarah binti Mies Bahul Munir, student ID 2022931001, and I will continue with the last part, which is the conclusion and recommendation. In conclusion, based on the result of this study, it has been identified that students at UiTM Puncak Perdana has a high level of computer self-efficacy, which is positively connected to their high use of electronic resources. With the existence of technology advancement nowadays, it has highly increased the utilization of electronic information resource, or in short, e-resources among students. It can be noted that students at UiTM Puncak Perdana prefer to use e-resources because of its accessibility and the convenience of using it. As a student ourselves, we also find it simple to just go on the internet to acquire academic material that will help us in completing our assignment and assessment. Internet in general has been known to provide current information and current e-resources that students can use to improve their academic performance. However, students need to be careful because the internet is a source that contains information from all over the world. So, there is a tendency for the information to be fake or false information that could not be used for doing assignment. Hence, first thing first, students need to consult with their lecturer regarding the article found in order to ensure its reliability, and here is where we need to apply our information knowledge on how we can find the right information to be used. Not only internet, online databases also has been frequently used by UiTM students, which include Science Direct and Emory Insight that has been provided by the UiTM library. Through these databases, we could find a lot of e-resources such as research article, book review, and e-journal that later will be used for reference for our assignment. Therefore, it is proven that students who mastered computer self-efficacy has a high chance to excel in the use of e-resources. Based on the finding of the study, a few recommendations has been proposed. The first recommendation is, as there is a high frequency of use of e-resources among students, the management of UiTM Puncak Perdana should ensure that the system used to keep all the e-resources can be used without having any maintenance issue. This is because when there is a frequently maintenance issue happen, it will lead the student to not use the e-resources because of its inconvenience. This improvement has the potential to increase student use of e-resources. The second recommendation is, UiTM Puncak Perdana should ensure there has enough resources to meet the needs of its students and assist them in their research and learning activities. For example, if there is a resources that students need at the moment, it can be found in no time. And if there is an information that students need but does not contain in the library's database, they can easily consult with the librarian to acquire the desired material. This is to ensure that undergraduate students maintain their high level of e-resources utilization. The third recommendation is, UiTM Puncak Perdana need to equip students with computer skills and teaching and train them to use e-resources regularly. For example, create an activity where students need to find information online using the given database. With this activity, they can teach and train the students to maximize their use of e-resources as well as master the use of computer. Not only that, but the management can also make an awareness on the importance of computer self-efficacy among students so they can continue to use computer and e-resources more effectively. That's it from me, thank you.